Hey, what's up guys, Wonder Librarian here, and I must say I'm super stoked about sharing this video with you. I'm a huge 80s movies fan, mall fan, as well as time traveling fan, and so when the opportunity for my boyfriend and I to go to Arizona came up, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. With Bill and Ted Face the Music dropping this August, I wanted to go back to where it all began and track down what's left at the locations from the first film of the Bill and Ted franchise. I'm happy to say that this was a most excellent filming location experience. So I'm here to give you some tips and tricks if you want to visit these locations yourself, as well as tell you a few Bill and Ted facts you may not know. So let's step on into the phone booth and travel back to Bill and Ted's excellent adventure. On our first night, we ventured out near Glendale, Arizona to find Ted's house on East Sparrows Lane. We also visited the Metro Center Mall the same night, where all the mall scenes with the historical figures were done. One of my most favorite scenes for sure. You might remember Ted's dad making the ominous threat of sending Ted to military school in Alaska if he flunked just one more thing. Hence the catalyst for Rufus eventually intervening and helping the boys with their history presentation. They were meant to save the world with their music after all, so their separation would have been a cosmic disaster for everyone. You get a good look at the house when Bill's stepmom Missy drops Ted off there. I can tell why they picked this particular house, because the craftsman-style home is super popular in Southern California, and the film is supposed to be set in San Dimas, although most of the scenes are filmed in Arizona. They've definitely renovated over the years, and our footage is pretty dark, but there's no mistaking the lattice work on the windows. I decided to put this video in the order that the locations appear in the movie, but I should tell you that the Circle K was probably my absolute favorite one to visit because of that awesome first scene where the guys first meet Rufus. You can find it at 1010 West Southern Avenue in Tempe, Arizona. The bowling alley where Ted's brother takes Napoleon is really close by, so we just made a night out of it. It's the AMF Tempe Village Lanes, and it was hoppin', but more about that in a bit. The Circle K does look a little bit different than it did in 1987, but you can stand where the phone booth landed in the middle of the second parking space, and we had fun inserting ourselves into the movie. Let's watch. Excuse me, when did the models from China?
I don't know, I just work here. What?
Strange things are afoot in the Circle K.
Dude, the two guys are gonna go back in time.
Yeah, you're gonna have the most excellent adventure in history. I should also mention that originally they were going to use a time-traveling van for the movie, but eventually decided it was way too similar to Back to the Future, and ultimately settled on a phone booth because they could make it look more roller coastery. I should also tell you that originally Keanu came in to read for Bill S. Preston Esquire, and Alex Winter wanted to play Theodore Ted Logan. The creators of course loved the guys, but ultimately decided to switch the roles, which I think worked out the best for everybody. I have to admit I'm totally fascinated with malls and their decline, probably because they were such a big part of my upbringing as a teenager in the mid-90s. Metro Center Mall, as I mentioned earlier, is sort of close to Ted's house and is not quite the bustling place that it was in the 1980s when Bill and Ted was filmed there. I was sad to learn that the escalators were all turned off to save power and that most of the mall is vacant. I'm glad we made this stop before the mall is no longer available to visit. I recommend stopping by Jade Chinese Food in the food court, which was there in the 1980s when Bill and Ted was filmed, and is where the historical figures all sat and had their Slurpees. The food court has tables which mention the mall as a Bill and Ted filming location, as well as other cool historical facts. You can't see the cool ice rink there anymore, but it used to be right underneath the food court. We made our best guesses on the music store where Beethoven played piano, and the sporting goods store where Genghis Khan ran amok, based on the mall's geography and the store architecture. The gang uses the main escalator across from what's now a Sprint store, which used to be close to an old anchor store, which has been closed for quite some time. In the 1980s, it was a Goldwater's. And I'm proud to say that I got to do some jumping jacks a la Joan of Arc right near the elevator. Let's revisit the amazing mall montage and show you what San Dimas Mall looks like now.
Son, hold it right there. Get that guy off there.
No, Slick, over here. So, excuse me, please. Pardon me. Oh, no. I demand einen lawyer.
Don't get smart with me, buddy. Let's go.
Focus. That's enough.
As I mentioned before, the bowling alley is closer to the Circle K in Tempe, so we tackled the mall and Ted's house near Glendale our first night, and the Circle K and bowling alley on our second night. If we'd been staying longer, we probably would have done more, but I'll weigh in on those other locations right after this. If you do make it to the bowling alley, it's a lot of fun and they have some great deals. As you see from the footage, the walls look similar to how they did in the movie, and the snack bar is in a similar place. We were stoked to get to play on lane 9, as Napoleon played on lane 11, and it was easily viewable from where we were sitting. You too can pretend to be Napoleon getting kicked out of the bowling alley at the AMF Tempe Village lanes. Let's watch.
Yeah, alright.
Jimmy. God damn.
Come on, let's ditch him.
Excusez-moi, monsieur. No, they're not so fast, buddy. D, you ain't paid yet. Pay? Pay. I don't want to see you around here anymore. Beat it. Vous me connaissez, monsieur? Beat it, buddy. Idiot!
Just to sum up, there are other Bill and Ted locations that you can visit in the area if you have more time here. The Chuck E. Cheese location close to the Metro Center / San Dimas Mall served as the Ziggy's restaurant where Napoleon wins the Ziggy Piggy Award. It doesn't really look the same inside as far as I know, but to be honest, we probably would have checked it out if we'd been here a bit longer. I do love Chuck E. Cheese after all. The Wild West, Billy the Kid scenes, as well as the future set were all done at a place called Carefree Studios in Scottsdale, but those sets and studios are long gone. The Socrates and King Henry footage was actually done in Italy, surprisingly, so it would have been very tricky to visit those locations. I did, however, read that Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were married at King Henry's castle years ago. Cool fact. The water park where Napoleon escapes to is called Golfland Splash, and I know we totally would have gone if the park was open for the season. The exteriors for San Dimas High were done at Coronado High School in Scottsdale, but because it has been thoroughly remodeled, except for a mural that was there during filming, we decided to skip this location on this trip as well. Should I find myself in the area again, we will definitely go back. I don't know about all of you, but Bill and Ted Face the Music is definitely a movie I'm very much looking forward to this year. It comes out in late August and will center around Bill and Ted as middle-aged buddies who still have not written the music that Rufus tells them eventually saves the world. Apparently it's causing real chaos for the two old friends, and rumor has it they'll be joined on this next part of their journey by daughters Billy Logan and Thea Preston, as well as some possible other historical figures. I did hear that the actor who played Death in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey will be in the movie, but it remains to be seen what his role will be. Are you guys excited for the new Bill and Ted movie? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more movie location goodness. I'm Wonder Librarian, and I'll see you in the future.